All right, Carrie, are you there? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start. So it may just be me and you. I don't know, maybe one-on-one.
Okay, I wasn't sure what we were gonna do today because all I picked up were some veggies and some eggs.
That's right. So because so it's breakfast. It's kind of egg cook. Did you get some sausage or ham or bacon?
I got some bacon, but I didn't get any of the other stuff.
Okay. That's fine. If you just want bacon, that's all fine. So it's very, very simple and easy.
Yeah.
We're doing, I'll give you some context, and this is recorded, for anybody else that's going to get the recording later. So a few years ago, we had a class here that was required called Breakfast Cookery. And with changes in degree structure and blah, 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 we had to let that class go. But for our accreditation, we're still required to include, at the very least, some egg cookery in our curriculum. So this week, the final lab week of school in Food 1 used to be when we would do our oral presentations, and they would be done in person in class. Well, we had to add egg cookery somewhere. And so with me focusing on online learning, online classes, even the in-person class, we've moved the oral presentation to a recorded presentation that you'll just upload in this week's, you've got a presentation assignment folder to put it up. And we're going to cook eggs. And we're going to do eggs 3 different ways. And I'm going to cook them. So this will actually go pretty quick. And then you can, if you want to cook this evening, fine. If you want to wait and on Saturday or Sunday have brunch and do eggs for your family, I don't care, but you'll just put your assignment up. We're going to do eggs 3 ways. I would like you, when you do your cooking, I would like you to experiment with each of these 3 and try to do exactly what I'm going to show you to do, regardless of how you've always done it in the past. Okay. And I'll show you kind of what I'm going to be looking for a plate presentation. Nothing fancy. I'm just looking for eggs. But we're going to do fried egg. We're going to do scrambled eggs. And we're going to do a hotel omelet. When I say a hotel omelet, what I'm talking about is that if either of you, have you ever been on a trip or, we just had Easter after early morning sunrise service, go to a restaurant or go to the hotel for Mother's Day brunch or Sunday brunch after church or something like that. And there's always that omelet bar where there's two or three cooks. They've got butane burners and they've got all their little bowls set up with diced onion and diced bell pepper and jalapenos and garlic and potatoes and anything you can think of to go, mushrooms. And then they have other little bowls that have bacon and sausage and ham and Spam. I don't know why that came to my mind because that makes me throw up into my mouth. But they have all of these things and then 45 different kinds of cheese. And you'll just tell the person, I want 2 eggs scrambled. I want a sunny side up. I want a over easy. You know, the number one egg ordered that's not an omelet is over easy. Why specifically over easy? I don't know. But I'm going to show you the number one egg that we jack up in a restaurant is over easy. Because you start the egg cooking and then you flip it. And when you flip it, if you flip it too hard, that soft yolk breaks in the pan, right? You have to start all over again. And then the chef gets mad, and then the general manager gets mad, and then the owner gets mad because we're throwing eggs away. And even though eggs today are, what, about 7.5 cents a piece, we still can't afford any kind of waste. And so we don't want waste. I'm going to show you how to fry, steam your egg so you get over easy without ever flipping the egg. And I'm going to have to dance around so that the lights come back on. This is going to be a long day. It's already been a long day. So that's that. Then when I'm done here with cooking a couple of eggs, then we'll talk about a couple other things, and I'll answer any questions that you have about anything, and then we'll be done. Does that sound all right? Happy days. So let's look. I think we're going to go right here. Nope. We're going to go right here. Looky there. So while I like butter, we're going to use butter. You can use oil. You can use any kind of oil if you're a little squirmish about the amount of butter that you're going to see me use. This is all for 3 different eggs being cooked. I'm using just for myself about 1/2 stick of butter. So this is not, maybe this is not the kind of eggs or the egg cooking that you want to do at your house every single day, because that's going to be bad for you a little bit. But anyway, there you go. When you're on the line, obviously you're not going to take the time for fried eggs to crack your egg in a bowl. But if you do crack your eggs in a bowl, see, that's good. That egg, that yolk's already broke. So we're going to get rid of that, do it again. There, that's better. Doing this, make sure you don't get any shell in your eggs, because that's the most annoying thing on the planet. We don't want that. So don't do that. Now we're gonna move over to the stove. Psych. Now we'll move over to the stove and we're gonna get the burner started so that we can heat up the pan. And after we heat up the pan, this initial time, the pan's gonna stay hot through everything we're gonna do. While this is heating up, I'm gonna get another little, a little dish, if you can see that, that has just, I don't know, maybe 2 teaspoons of water, 1.5 teaspoons of water, because you're gonna fry the egg and you're gonna add a little bit of water. And you're gonna see why in a minute. I know all of y'all are looking at me with that confused tone, And I'm going to ask y'all to not look at me in that tone of voice. But, okay, thank you, Carrie, for getting that courtesy laugh, strokes my ego and gives you an A.
We do fried and steamed eggs, so I'm happy to learn the right way.
Steamed eggs?
No, we do a fried and steamed egg because they want over easy eggs, but we have to do like 20. So it's easier to do fried and steamed or fried steam.
We want to be careful with the heat in the pan. That's already pretty hot. Because you know that that crispy, brown, crispy bit that we usually get on the outside of a fried egg? We don't want that. And we don't want brown butter. We don't want burnt butter. Then from the bowl, in goes my 2 eggs. And notice it doesn't go steaming, or it doesn't go popping and cracking right away. We just get to the point where the albumin on the bottom sets. And so it's hard to see in this camera, but the top is still pretty much Jell-O all around the yolk. But I'm going to add this little bit of water. And a lid. Did you notice that popping up and down just before I put the lid down? What's happening right now is steam is cooking the top of the egg. And so instead of ever having to flip it, because over easy cooks the white all the way through, including the little thin layer of albumin or egg white that's right over the top of the yolk. This only needs to sit here like this for a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, but resist the urge to keep pulling the lid and looking underneath to see what's going on. Because every time you do, you release the steam, and the steam is what's doing the cooking. Does that make sense? I hope. So now I'm going to turn these eggs out. Bingy bongy bangy. This is, you of course can't feel it. There was some of my butter got a little bit, oh, it's got a little crispy on it. Can you see the movement of the yolk just underneath that film of white? Looks like over easy without ever flipping the pan, without ever flipping the eggs. So there you go. What do you think? Anyone? Good. Let's go to scrambled. So scrambled eggs, we're going to come back to our bowl. I'm going to crack in 2 eggs. Now, some people spend all of their time really just stirring the eggs. We want to beat them. Break the yolks, turn the bowl just a little bit on its side, and turn the fork on its side. about a 45-degree angle. And then to beat the eggs, think of it like you're beating the bowl. And you're going to beat the bowl, hit the bowl, and draw the egg toward you. And do that in a kind of a circular motion, like that. But then a little quicker and a little harder from edge of bowl to the edge of the bowl. What we're trying to do is less about whipping in air. We're not trying to beat air into this. We've got to break up all of that egg white. Okay. Leave those globs of egg white. That's when you have scrambled eggs that are yellow and white. If you watch those YouTube videos of people cooking around the world, there's a lot of countries where you've got a hot pan and you crack the eggs right in the pan and then use a spatula or something and try to break up the eggs right in the pan for scrambled eggs. And no, that's not too good. So see, I have a little bit of air, but I also have no globs of egg white. Okay. So now we're going back to the pan. I don't know where my cameras are. We're going to turn the heat back on. This is really going to be a medium to medium low heat. Okay, this isn't going to be really high heat where you're cooking the egg right against the pan and every once in a while you pull your spoon. My mom always used a wooden spoon and you have these large chunks of egg. Good French scrambled eggs are more like a custard and uses a little bit of butter. We're going to put 2 pats of butter, 1 pat of butter in, which is a little bit less than a tablespoon. 1 pat of butter in for each egg we're going to use. And so, again, you see how this is something that you don't necessarily want to do every day? I do. But I've been told as much Dr. Pepper as I drink, I must really not care about my health anyway. So if I eat butter all the time, that's fine. Now right off, and I'm just going to use a fork. We're going to stir in the egg and the butter. Oops. And I turn the heat off. Okay. It's called carryover cooking. The residual heat in the pan when they're set, when they're done to your liking, get them out of the pan right away. Otherwise, they keep cooking. And so now, no dirty, no burnt pieces, no overcooked to the point of a little bit of green. That brown is really burnt, and we want to try to avoid that. Okay, what do y'all think? A little bit soft, served right over some nice, fresh sourdough toast. That makes me happy. Except eggs don't always make me happy. And we won't go into any more detail other than that. Eggs sometimes make me antisocial. Now comes the hard part. Now we're going to do something, and I want you to do this same thing. Okay. So here's what I'm going to want you to do, and I'm going to show you this. Okay. Just from earlier today, I'm going very, very simple. I've got a little bit of bacon left over my food production 2 class today. We smoked things, an outside smoker, inside smoker, and we made some German potato salad, which is a warm potato salad, and it's made with bacon, and you use the bacon grease and all of that. So I've got a little bit of bacon, and I went and scored some of the shredded cheddar cheese off of your cart for you to pick up if you haven't already. And so that's it. I'm going to make an omelet, hotel style omelet with just bacon and cheese. Now, before a part of your mise en place, before you prepare this omelet, of the vegetables and things that you picked up, the meats that you picked up, I want you to prepare, obviously in advance, I want you to prepare whatever it is that you like and you want to put in your omelet. Okay. So slice and dice some mushroom. What else did we have on the cart? Some tomatoes, some red bell pepper, onion. There's some cheese, bacon, sausage. Cook the sausage, cook the bacon, make crumbles or bacon bits, and have all of that ready. Think small. This is going in an omelet. Okay. Your guests will want and expect small dice or smaller of the items that you're going to put in an omelet. So if you're accustomed to taking a whole fresh button mushroom and just slicing it, no, please. You've got to cut those down to the size of a small dice or preferably a brunoise. Your onion should be diced to the size of a brunoise. Your bell pepper, brunoise. Does that make sense? Then this is another cardinal sin or a mistake that is commonly made in these omelet stations. You can't overfill the pan with all of that stuff. You may like all this stuff, and so you want more. More sometimes is more. In this case, more is always bad. So think you want about a tablespoon of each thing. So if you have some bacon and some onion and some tomato and some bell pepper, no more than a tablespoon of each, because your omelet, the base of your omelet is going to be 2 eggs, only 2 eggs. Okay. So that's your first challenge, is not overfilling the pan as you're going to build your omelet. Second challenge, this is what I want you to flip. And I want you to try this. And yes, you might spill it and you'll have to try it again. And you might have to try it again. And hopefully you picked up 9 or 8 or 10 or 12 eggs so that you can try this maybe a few times. Also, if you have a bell pepper and you want a bell pepper for your mushroom, brunoise the entire bell pepper, but only use a couple of teaspoons, and that's it, because you're going to need more bell pepper the next time you do this and the next time you do this. Okay. Cooks quick, but the flip is something that you kind of have to figure out the feel. Okay. The flip is going to be a combination of moving the pan away from you up with a little flick of the wrist. And when you catch the omelet, you want to gently bring it down at the same time. So you're doing no real hard movements. Real hard movements, just like this, straight out. That omelet might just slide right out to the back of your stove. We've done a lot of cleaning of stoves this week in this lab because there've been a lot of people just go to try to flip their omelet. Okay, you can't just go straight up in the air because the butter or the oil that you use in the bottom of the pan is moisture, right? Moisture and egg that covers the entire pan is going to create a vacuum. There's going to be like suction. And so when you try to just go to flip it, just toss it up in the air, like you see people try to do with pancakes on the TV, don't work. And so my very first job, my very first restaurant, I worked omelet bars starting about my first month. I'd worked at the restaurant about a month, and then we had 2 early morning gigs every Tuesday and every Wednesday morning. And I was there with the chef to flip omelets, to work an omelet bar. And Chef Philpo, Paul Philpo, and Chef Philpo could serve about 5 or 6 guests to my one, because I've got my little spatula out and I'm trying to turn everything and I'm trying to flip everything over. And he's sitting there, crack, crack, boom, boom, go on, next person. And so I asked him one day, teach me how to flip eggs so I can help you out more. I can be a little quicker. And he said, well, you go out and then you just kind of flip the wrist, and that's how you do this. That's how you flip the eggs. And I said, Chef, I don't understand anything that you just said. And so he said, look, go on out there, just walk in over there and get this flat of eggs. That flat of eggs, you know, it was cardboard. It's 2.5 dozen eggs. A little bit of oil in the pan, 1 egg at a time. If I just try, the motion is really different for everybody. You know, the feel of it is in your hand and your wrist and your forearms and your shoulder. You have to feel this for yourself. He said, if I would flip 1 egg at a time and I would focus on a flat of eggs, 2.5 dozen eggs, I would get the feel for it for myself inside of 2.5 dozen eggs. And at least for me, he was right. So you want to learn how to flip eggs after this week or after this lab or after tonight, then y'all go to the Walmarts and buy one of those. I think they sell, it's $15, $18, and you can get 5 dozen eggs, 2 flats of eggs. Start flipping. And you'll have it down inside of a flat of eggs, inside of 2.5 dozen eggs. I believe it. I'm going to show you here what we're going to do. This hotel omelet is an omelet that first you saute all of your stuff, your tomatoes, your mushrooms, your onions, your meat. The only thing you don't put in the pan is the cheese. And then you add your egg. And it doesn't take very long, and then you're ready to flip. As soon as you flip, you turn the stove off. You put your cheese in the middle, and I'll show you how to fold it. It's like a half moon. You're going to fold it. Everybody needs to pray for everybody's stoves. I'm telling you, that's going to be truth. I hope y'all invested in I saw my big fat Greek wedding My wife likes that movie, and you fix everything with Windex. So make sure you have your Windex handy because you're going to need it in this little exercise as part of the deal. Okay. So first we're gonna crack the egg. I already have some bacon. I already have some cheese. And whether you work on doing this or not, that's up to you. But a good crack of the egg, and then I have my index finger and my disgruntled driver communication finger on the top part of the brake. I have my ring finger that's going to apply a little pressure. And then my thumb is working forward of the brake as well. Okay. It's a gentle squeeze and you pull it apart. That's it. Now I won't get into, I used to could do both hands, 2 eggs at a time. I'd have 2 eggs in this hand and 2 eggs in this hand, but I haven't done that in a long, long time. And that's a weird feel. And if I started doing it right now, I would embarrass myself and y'all would laugh at me. You wouldn't laugh near me. And then I'm so thin skinned and I would just go away and cry. So I don't want to do that. But I am in the same way as we handled the scrambled egg. A good beat till we get all of that egg white incorporated. Okay, good. That's close enough for government work. Let's move over to the pan. Dadgum, I do that every time. Get rid of this fork. I'm going to put the same butter in. So this is about 2.5. No, this is a little less. This is about 1.5, 1 3/4 tablespoons total. My bacon has already been cooked, but I want to heat it up here in this pan. Some people will look at this and say, well, that's not very much bacon. It is here to flavor the omelet, and that is plenty. So your flip, we'll do a little preliminary. Forward, up with a flick of the wrist, and back at the same time, like a little circular motion. And you see how that bacon kind of flips in on itself? That's what we're after. That's good stuff there. Get egg all over the place, everywhere, okay? Now, that top, can you see it jiggle? There's still quite a bit of raw egg right on the top. So this is where you're gonna need the Windex because you're gonna make a mess. Swirl this around to make sure the whole omelet is loose from the pan, and then out, up, and down at the same time. And then turn the heat off. The clean fork. I want to put the cheese just to one side. And that's just, I don't know, about 3 tablespoons. And then this is sitting in the pan too long, so I might have a little bit of brown to it. And so this is going to go in the pan. Here's how you get your fold. Cheese down first. Slide it out of the pan. And then fold it over. There's your hotel omelet. Okay. What do you think? All right, you give me a thumbs up, but let's talk now. Let's be honest. What are you afeared of? Anyone?
Cooking doesn't seem, like it's gonna go well the first time. So we'll see.
It may, but don't be hard on yourself if it doesn't. Especially with something like this, acquiring a new skill, the key to learning is repetition. You got to do it, and then you have to do it again, and then you have to do it again. Trying to flip one egg in the pan, one at a time, over and over and over again, in 2.5 dozen eggs, you'll get it. But the first egg, I think the first egg, second or third egg, maybe all the first 4 or 5 eggs that I ever flipped, I had hot egg all on my thumb and my wrist and my chef coat, and I had egg on me. I had egg on the floor. I had egg on my shoes. So where you're good, hopefully, well, I have those chef Crocs that are all made of rubber. I can throw my chef shoes, I can throw in the dishwasher. But no, you might get a little bit of egg on you. You might get a little bit of egg on your shoe. But these are things that we have to do. We have to experience this to learn how to do it. And then, for a lot of us, I made a lot of needed extra money early in my career to work. That's how I pick up extra shifts. They were early in the morning, but when you need an extra shift, Sunday brunch. Or I did, like I said, Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning early. So Conway, I don't know if they still do it now. This was 32 years ago. The early morning Lions Club and the early morning Rotary Club, one of them met on Tuesday and one of those met on Wednesday in the banquet facility of our restaurant. And so I was in the restaurant Tuesdays and Wednesdays for early morning shift at 4 o'clock in the morning to make biscuits and set up the omelet bar. Biscuits, gravy, omelet bar. Other people, carved fruit and things like that. But I was able to do more than just what I was hired to do in that restaurant because, number one, I was willing to work the shift. And I sat at the stove and I flipped eggs till I got it. And I made a mess and I cleaned up the mess and then I could do it. Y'all aren't going to flip and flip so much that they may not come out nice and perfectly pretty. There's no such thing as really perfect, I guess. The things that you see on a magazine, they're all staged, and we can talk about that in another class at another time. But I have confidence in you. You can do it. I would like you to try all three methods in this way. So if you need to, when the recording goes up tonight, if you need to refer back to it, then refer back to it. That's why I put them. That's why I put them up for your benefit, as well as those that need the recordings that aren't able to attend on Thursday night. And so there you go. What questions do you have? What comments? What criticisms? None? Good. What compliments do you have? All the compliments to the chef. Stroke my ego. That's really, really nice.
You're fantastic, chef. You're
Oh,
fantastic.
keep that coming. Yes. Okay. All right. That's an A for today. That's anybody else want an A? No, seriously, really. So sometimes messages and emails get lost in the Ethernet and in the World Wide Web. They get lost. So in case you didn't get this message, first of all, this is our last lab. We will not, we won't be together again anymore until next fall. There are, I think there are 3 of us teaching Food 2 next semester. So I don't know what Food 2 class you're going to. I don't remember. Mine's Wednesday in the middle of the day. I'm teaching the Wednesday noon Food 2 class. But next week is your final practical exam. And there are, it won't open up until Monday morning early. And your cart won't be ready, I don't think, until Monday, just like usual. And so come Monday, you will be able to see what your exam is. It's 15 cuts. We learned 24 cuts this semester, and you will see 15 of those cuts for the practical exam. Now, this is the last semester of me conducting the research that I need for my dissertation. And part of that research includes a Food 1 and a Food 2 practical exam. So I'm conducting that research exam Tuesday, May 3rd. I think I had announced Monday a couple of weeks ago. I sent out an email. That's why I'm saying this, because it may have gotten lost. But it's the afternoon. It's earlier in the afternoon than we hold this class, but it's when I could get evaluators. And so you would, if you're able, you would arrive at 1 o'clock here at the culinary school, and we're done by 3. It is a 1-hour exam. There went the lights again. Ta-da! And we're back. It's a 1-hour exam. You'll do 7 cuts in that exam. If you're able to participate in that exam, I'm most grateful, but I reward you by exempting you from our regular practical exam, which means you would not have to do that exam next week. You would not have to come up here and pick up product. And those 15 cuts for you would be exempt. each one. So you wouldn't have to do that. And I give you 50 extra credit points. And so the warning I've been given everyone is, unfortunately, this semester, because my research study exam takes place the week after our practicals. If you sign up to show up on the 3rd and you don't show up, that could be a little black eye. That's not I'm not threatening anybody with you fail and all of that, but your final practical exam is about 170 points. And if I exempt that because you're going to come on the 3rd and then you don't show up on the 3rd, I go back and remove the exemption, which would be a 0. And so you would lose that practical exam. In my classes, your final practical exam, your final written exam is not weighted heavier than any other points. So it's just 170 points in the course of our 2,300, 2,400 points of the whole semester. So really for you 3 that are on here, 6 to 1, half dozen the other. The final written exam will open up for you on Monday, May 2nd, early in the morning at midnight. And it will be open. When it opens, you'll see the date that it closes, just like any other homework. I believe it's going to close at midnight or 11:59 p.m. the following Monday, which I believe is May 9th. Unlike your quizzes, the written exam is a one single attempt exam. You get one shot. Okay. I encourage you to take that exam earlier in the week, as early as possible, as early as you're comfortable, as early as you're ready, because I hope I hope you have discovered by now. I joke about being a mean prick of a chef, but I'm really not. And I'm not gonna say that it sucks being you if you're in the middle of taking your final exam and some storm and your technology craps out on you and stuff like that. You know, you text me, you email me, I clear the attempt, I can open it back up. So you need to do that early enough in the week. I'm just encouraging you so that in the event there's an issue or a problem, we can work through it. If you wait until Sunday or Monday, if you wait till the last day and you wait till the evening or afternoon of the last day, and then there's a problem, you know, I may or may not be on the spot. You know, I may get a text, but I may be nowhere near my computer, blah, blah, blah. We may end up with just, you've got to settle with whatever grade you had on that final before there was the issue. Does that make sense? I mean, y'all take this exam, opens Monday, take it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Don't wait until the very last day. I invite you to do that. If you can't make the 3rd, then certainly by all means, no harm, no foul. You don't get the extra credit points, but pick up your product early next week and do the exam just like any other lab. You know, I've always said one of the benefits, especially in light of this, our final practical exam, your in-person classmates who are taking Food 1 in person, you know, they're going to get one onion to do one cut. They're going to get one carrot. They're going to get one potato, and it's a one-shot deal for them. For you, There's no way to monitor that. And so just like a lab, you know, if you're going to dice an onion and you're not happy with the dice, I don't provide you with extra onions, but you can, you know, there's going to be some things that you video and there's going to be some things that you put up pictures. And so if you're not happy with the cut and it's something you videoed, then you just erase it off your phone or whatever device you're using and do it again. And you have that opportunity to do that. With that in mind, oddly enough, there have been a few students in the past to do this. I am a little bit brighter maybe than the average bear. Do not try to submit for your final practical exam a video or a picture from a previous week. That make sense? I go back to that previous week and I give you a 0 for both. And I've had one student challenge me on that. And we have a very specific academic dishonesty policy at this university. In the online culinary world, that is cheating. That is plagiarism. You're self-plagiarizing by going back to a previous week, using a picture, an image from a previous week and selling that, trying to pass that off as your final. And so if I do what the policy says to do, then I submit that to the dean, not Miss Renee upstairs, not the associate dean of the culinary school. That goes to the dean of the School of Technical and Professional Studies. And then that goes to the dean of students. And we don't want to get into academic probation and all that kind of stuff. So we try to handle those things in-house with the blessing of Jan and Renee, our program director and the associate dean of the culinary school. When I catch you cheating like that, I just give you a 0 on both of those assignments and we go forward. I just have to say that warning. I don't think it's going to apply to anybody here or anybody in this class, but it has happened in the past. And I guess that's a sign I got to shut up and go away. So that's all I can think of. What else is on your mind, or what else do you want to know about? What do y'all think? How do you think this class went and this format? And be open and be honest. What did you like? What did you not like?
Well, I wanted to say that I found this class very interesting and generally easy to like a certain extent. As a student to learn from you, it was easy. And I'm someone who before this I got a bachelor's from UALR as a business innovation entrepreneurship. And I did a lot of online classes, and I found that a lot of times these professors wouldn't interact with us. So I really appreciate that you interact with us as not only as a teacher, but as a chef, to actually include us in the classroom, not just, hey, here's these assignments, just do them, and I'll give you an A if you finish them. So I appreciate that.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
If
No?
the class
Yep.
wasn't available, I couldn't have taken it. So I appreciate that. Like there's
Well,
no
there you
other-
go.
Yeah, there's no other way I could have taken the class.
This is the last semester of a 2-year study. And so we have some approvals. I have to finish, defend, and deposit my dissertation. And then I have a presentation to make to the American Culinary Federation There's not Food 1. There will not be Food 2 online in the fall. I think y'all have already seen that if you've been looking at registering for the fall. That's up in the air. There's some approvals from the American Culinary Federation where the culinary school is accredited. And so there's more of a process that we have to go through after this is the last semester of this study, like I've said. And so we'll see what the future holds. But at the very least, there should, we're trying to have an AM and a middle of the day and a PM section of every class. And so we'll see how that plays out as well. But we're trying to make this as accessible as possible to as many people as possible, regardless of what your work and life situation might be. So has everyone registered for the fall that needs to or wants to? Good. Well, that's all I have. Good luck on the eggs. Get your Windex out and a whole roll of paper towels, and you'll be just fine. You'll be all right. Okay. Enjoy breakfast or brunch or whatever it is you're going to do. It's been fun this semester, and I look forward to each of you, where you go and what you do with the continuance of your education and what you do in the future. How you use this. If y'all need recommendations and things like that, y'all know where to find me and how to get me. I'm happy to help each one of you in any way I can, even in other classes. I know a little bit about this business, and I'm happy to help. Okay. I mean that sincerely. It's been fun. Appreciate all of you. Y'all have a good night and enjoy the eggs. Bye-bye.